Hey, welcome everybody to the Family Church Podcast. I'm Chuck Carter, lead pastor here. So excited you've joined us. And as always, I am with...
I'm Filipe Menges, online pastor here at Family Church, your co-host of this podcast, the Family Church Podcast. I'm so happy that you're joining us today because we have a special guest, Pastor Brian Emond. Pastor Brian is an amazing pastor here at church taking care of the kids ministry, but also he's going to share his experience with us, how he is the kids director at our church, and ideas that he can give you how to thrive in kids ministry at your church.
So stay with us. And by the way, this is the last episode of season 1.
Last episode
number
of season
10.
1. Yes.
We'll come back in September. So stay with us. Hey everybody, welcome. Like Felipe said, we're here with Brian Emond, who is the kids pastor here at Family Church. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got in kids ministry, a little bit about your family.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on here. It's exciting to be here. And, I got started in kids ministry while I was in seminary. God used seminary to bring me into kids ministry. I thought I was going to be a senior pastor when I went. And then God changed my heart while I was there, moved to me and said I needed to do kids ministry full time, which I've been doing for the last 12 years now, last 3 here at Family Church, and it's been a great experience. That's how I met my wife, was in kids ministry at another church. She was on staff there, and Melissa Emond, she's fantastic and wonderful. And
still the reason we hired you, just so you know. Okay. Not the only reason, but she helped tip the scale. I'm just telling you. Okay?
Yeah, because she's also an amazing graphic designer.
She is. She does a lot of things. She's an amazing graphic designer. She's amazing in kids ministry. She loves kids ministry almost as much as I do, which makes it so good to have a wife that understands ministry. Just excited to be a part of that. And I've got 3 kids, 3 boys.
All right.
Shane, Tyler, and Kyle, 6, 4, and 18 months.
Ooh. All right.
So it is fun in our house. It's loud, and we don't sleep a lot. So.
I hear you.
So tell us a little bit about your role here at Family Church. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm the kids pastor, which means I get to oversee kids ministry at all our campuses.
And for us, kids ministry is 5th grade down. Is that right?
5th grade down. So birth through 5th grade is my realm, and I get to oversee that at all of our campuses. We have people at other campuses. I'm at the Windermere campus, and I'm primarily responsible for running that each week, but then oversee our other Lakeside and Oakland and East Winter Garden and our other communities. And so get to help bring vision to the team, help come up with different ideas and ways that we can implement kids ministry to this church.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. So our staff knows, that we make kids ministry a priority in our church because I think you can gauge the health of a church many times by its kids ministry, right? Many churches that are getting older, kids ministry is not vibrant, it's not exciting. And usually by the time they discover that, it's too late to do anything about it, right? The church is getting old. So unless you're in like the villages here in Florida where everybody is like 55 and older, you can really gauge the health of a church through its kids ministry. So tell us a little bit about in kids ministry. What are you seeing? We're just going to let you talk for a little while. What are you seeing as, number one, your biggest challenge? And in that is, what are the biggest challenges kids are facing today? And then what's your greatest blessing in kids ministry?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that we're seeing is the identity movement in kids, where it is starting so young now.
It's just evil.
It's as young as terrible. 7 years old. Kids are being asked to identify themselves, and also in a way of don't ask anybody else. Where a 7-year-old is supposed to define who they are for the rest of their life.
And by the way, it's not just evil, it's demonic. It really is. So go ahead.
Yeah.
I just had to jump in.
You got to define who you are at 7, which at 7 years old, I couldn't define who I was. In college, I wasn't sure. In seminary, I didn't know, it took that long before I could know I wanted to be in kids ministry, and that's what God was doing. But kids are being told, define who they are, and don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't ask an authority figure. Don't ask a parent. Look within. And so we as a church are trying to give a different message, that there's hope outside of themselves, that they don't have to, put everything on them, but that there's a God that loves them. There's a God that cares about them. There's a God that's created them with purpose. And so that's our biggest challenge, is helping families walk through, what does that look like in this world? How to combat the messaging that the world is sending us.
Yes, absolutely.
So if the church does not have the resources we have here, Family Church, what would you recommend when they need a kids director or someone on the leadership of the kids ministry?
Well, you've got to have somebody that can help step in and fill that role. And so if you can't afford to hire somebody, then it's about equipping the person that you can volunteer the best that you can. There are a lot of really good kids ministry curriculums out there. There's a lot of good curriculum that's going to reach kids on their levels, which is one of the things we try to do here at Family Church is, we don't expect kids to be able to sit in a pew for 45 minutes and listen to me talk or listen to somebody else talk, but we're going to hit things on their levels where even television shows are no more than 7 minutes at a time. And so our kids' worship times are going to be in those 7-minute increments that they're used to. We're going to reach them where they are. We want to help kids develop. We want to help them grow. But we're going to teach kids the truth of the Bible.
Yeah.
We're going to not shy away from telling them what's true. We're not going to shy away from telling them the only life-changing thing that can really make a difference in them.
Yeah. So if they come to church, you've got them for an hour.
Yes.
Right? The world's bombarding them the rest of the week, right? So how are you equipping parents and families? What's going on there to try to, in other words, we're coming alongside families to do this. So tell us a little bit about how you're doing that, but we're not getting it completely right. What you think we'd like to even do more?
Well, you said it right. We come alongside parents because if they come to everything we offer every week, we have them for maybe 3 hours out of the week, and parents get so much more influence. And so we do stuff. We try to resource parents. We have resource centers at our kids ministry with different topics, with different books that we can provide to parents. We have opportunities in the events that we do, where we're doing mother, son, daddy, daughter events to build relationships where it's, if a kid knows me, great, but if they can have a parent that they trust, a parent that they can go to, that is so much better. That's why we have parents come anytime a kid has a new member class. We have parents sit in on the class. And that's designed because we want to have parents be able to talk to their kids. We want parents being able to engage with their kids. And, we want to come alongside and help parents any way that we can.
Yeah. In fact, this fall, you'll be having some parenting seminars once a month. Is that right? On Wednesday nights that Angel will be leading?
Yes. We've got Angel who's going to be working on different parenting seminars that all of it's designed to help parents, because they can have such more of an influence than what I can.
Yeah.
I can only do so much, only seeing them, but parents can really make a difference in their lives for their kids.
Absolutely. Well, you do an amazing job here. And one of the things as a church, we talked on our last podcast about multi-generational. And I think people don't understand the difference between reaching a 30-year-old and a 50-year-old. But a lot of churches understand the difference between reaching a third grader and a 30-year-old. And so kids worship, kids ministry is so vital in a multi-generational church like that. Also, why don't you share with us a little bit about the programming that you have and what helps feed your ministry, the things around us that are going on that help feed your ministry?
Yeah, so we do Sunday morning program where we offer large groups and small groups every hour.
What's the difference between those? Explain that.
So a large group is going to be a time where you have every kid, we do kindergarten through 5th grade sitting in the same room together, where it's going to look more like a kids' worship service, where there's music, there's teaching from the stage, there's games on the stage, where we're engaging a crowd of people, teaching the different message. And then our small group is where our kids get to break out. Age-based, we do it by the grades here, where they get to know a leader one-on-one, where it's instead of being in a room with 75 or 100 kids, they're in a room with 10 to 12 kids.
That's great.
They get to be with their friends. They get to make those connections. They get to know people, and they get to be invested by people. We also do Wednesday night programming. Right now we're offering Awana on Wednesday nights, which has been a great success for us here at Family Church that we've launched it back, and it's been great. But also we've got a great other ministries going on that help support kids ministry. Because it's, you can have a great kids ministry, but if you don't have the backing of the church, then it's not going to grow. But we've got stuff like Upward. We've got our preschools that we have here that all let us get involved. The kids ministry gets to be involved in all of it.
Yeah, so you intentionally do chapel at the preschools, even though a lot of those families don't come to our church. In fact, a lot of those families don't go to church at all. Mm-hmm. So for you, gives you the ability to speak into their lives. Our Upward programs, you're there for their celebration events and as much as you can, along with your team. It's not just you, right? It's your whole team. And we've seen how those have been feeders. And now we're about to open up a brand new kids building at Lakeside. In fact,
there you go.
As we're recording this, a week from now, we're going to have our big celebration at Lakeside for the new kids building. And we're going to be partnering with a Christian elementary school and about 120, 130 students there that our kids ministry is going to be able to be involved in and to make an impact with. So that's exciting too.
It's very exciting, and we're already plugged into their chapel services over there, and so we're just going to get to continue to grow that ministry opportunity.
That's awesome.
So what else are you offering more with this new building being open?
So with the new building being open, we're going to have a chance where we're going to get kids out of a portable. Mm-hmm. It's going to show families that we really do care about kids. It's, we're putting our money where our mouth is when we say we support kids ministry. Yeah. We are stepping up and we are saying we are giving them a space that's going to be inviting for families. Mm-hmm. It's a kid-friendly space. It's bright colors. It's big, bold fonts everywhere. We've designed this space for kids to have a great time, to feel welcome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Feel like that this is a place they can belong. That's one of the things we say in kids ministry a lot is you belong here.
Yeah, absolutely. This podcast is geared to not just church leaders, but church members, anybody that's going to a church and loves the church and wants to see the church grow and thrive. And I would say that everybody who's a part of a church should look at their kids ministry and say, are we making this a priority?
Yeah.
And just here's the way it's played out in our church. We have probably 5 or 6 key people on our staff who grew up through our kids ministry. We have worship leaders, we have tech people, we have student pastors and kids pastors, kids ministers who grew up in our ministry, and our kids ministry laid the foundation for that. And it's just so great to see that, come to fruition. Any last thoughts, Filipe?
No, I think this wraps up. This pretty much closes the whole topic. Thank you, Brian, for being with us.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
It's amazing, super exciting to hear those news from you and get to know you a little bit more. So, Chuck, right now is coming to the very end of this season. What is your last somebody has to say?
Yeah, somebody has to say it. And I want to be somewhat sensitive, but tipping has gotten out of control.
Yes, I agree.
Since we've come out of the pandemic, people are asking for a tip for everything in the world. So today I went and got my car washed, okay? So you pull up to a machine that you can look, I can press the buttons and tell them what kind of car wash I want. I can put my credit card in. I can determine if I want a receipt or not, all of those things. But do they let me do that? No, there's a guy standing there to press the buttons for me, right? And why? Because the last button is, how much do I want to tip the guy who's standing there pressing the buttons?
This is wrong.
Dude, just let me do it. I don't want to tip, okay, for that, right?
Their specific services is not even a service. Nobody's serving me anything.
That's
Why
right.
are you asking for a tip? There's,
So here's the other one. There's a place that Zach likes to eat. I'll go, and there's a kiosk there, and you put in your order in the kiosk. Now, you're going to have to go get your own cup. You're going to have to pour your own drink, and they'll call your number, and you pick up your food and bring it to your table, and you clean, you don't leave the tray. You clean your table on the way out. And yet when you place the order, the last screen is, how much do you want to tip for doing it?
That's right.
I don't want to tip anything.
No.
But now here's the thing.
Oh, man.
It is a food service, so I'm afraid if I don't tip, somebody's going to spit in my food. so I do tip. But it's crazy, man. You know,
They have a screen right there. This guy did not tip.
that's it. So here's what I believe. If you get good service, you tip well.
That's right.
If it's not service, you don't tip.
That's right. I agree. It's
I mean,
fair.
But where's this going?
No.
Next thing I know, they're going to say at Publix, how much would you like to tip the cashier for checking you out?
No,
right?
you selling me your service or your product. I mean, you're not serving me anything. You're selling it to me.
That's right.
Just make sure you pay your employees a fair salary.
That's
or
right.
A great salary so they don't have to ask for tips.
So
like
let's
this.
stop this tipping craziness.
Madness.
Somebody has to say
Yes,
it.
I agree 100%.
Talk us out, bro.
That was a good one, guys. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the season. It's been an amazing season. Next one is going to be way more exciting with guests. And, Chuck, you have a list of people they want to bring over this podcast, right?
Yes.
Those will be
Not going to give the names right
all right,
now.
all right. We're not. So we're planning everything out for you guys, and it's gonna be wonderful season.
Yeah,
So,
really what we're going to do is we've been talking about family church this season. We're going to look at other churches, other
Nice.
models, other leaders,
Yeah.
and learn from what's going on around us.
amazing. Thank you so much for joining us one more time, and see you next time.